Okay, so this is the first video that I will be doing in the 12 Bar Blues series. So, to start off, we're going to just talk about some basics. We're talking about Mixolydian scales. What's a Mixolydian scale? You can think of it as a major scale with a flat 7. It is a mode of the major scale, so like a B-flat Mixolydian scale is same notes as an F major scale, but I think it's when you're thinking quickly on the spot, it's a little bit easier, I think, to just think of it. A B-flat Mixolydian scale it's like a B-flat major scale with a flat 7. I think it's the simplest way to think of it. And it's a scale perfectly suited for dominant 7 chords like we have here. So here is a version of a 12 bar blues. There are many versions of a 12 bar blues. Here's one that I think represents a lot of, some pretty common chord changes that you might see for 12 bar blues in B flat. So all I want to talk about today is some basics. So we're going to not worry about this E diminish here too much. We're not going to worry about this G7 here. But we'll talk about those in the next videos. For now, I just want to talk about Mixolydian scales and a B flat major scale, which is also useful. So specifically, here's what we're going to do: B flat Mixolydian, E flat Mixolydian for the E flat, B flat Mixolydian for 2 bars, E flat Mixolydian for 2 bars, B flat Mixolydian for 2 bars, and then B flat major for the last 4 bars. So we're just playing the Mixolydian scale for each dominant 7 chord. It's as simple as that. B flat Mixolydian, E flat Mixolydian, B flat Mixolydian for 2 bars, E flat Mixolydian for 2 bars, B flat Mixolydian for 2 bars, and then B flat major. This is very, very simple. And we're going to build off of this and do more. However, there's actually a lot you can do just with that. And in addition, there's one very important thing that I want to say, which is that you can always play 12. You can play a blues scale, B flat blues scale. You can mix that in wherever you want, however much as you want. It's never wrong to play a blues, especially in a 12 bar blues. So just between those Mixolydian scales and the B flat major scale and the B flat blues scale, that really gives you a lot of options right there. And we're going to talk about more you can do in the next videos, but just already we really have a lot that we can do. So I'll do a quick little demo. But before I do that, there's one other thing that I want to say, because you might feel, depending on your level, you might feel a little bit overwhelmed. Like, it might seem like a lot of scale switching. How am I going to, switch all these scales? It's actually easier than you think, because a B flat Mixolydian scale and an E flat Mixolydian scale, there's only one note difference. The D becomes a D flat. All the other notes are the same. So those two scales are very similar. Most of the notes are the same. So if you can just think about, we're going back and forth a lot between B flat 7 and E flat 7. Think about D natural, and then when you get to the E flat 7, D flat. And at first, if you're having trouble, just think about that. Only think about those notes, those notes that are changing. And then when we get to that B flat major scale, again, we're only changing one note. A B flat major scale is just like a B flat Mixolydian scale. The A flat becomes an A natural. So again, we're just changing one note. So it's not too hard to think about switching scales all this time. But here's a great starting point if you're having trouble learning how to improvise, and improvising over the chord changes and following the form. Here's a great place to start. A 12 bar blues. Just practice with Mixolydian scales, and then a B flat, a major scale. Mix in the blues scale. And if you're having trouble, just think about that D going to D flat for the E7 chord, and then back to D natural for the B flat 7, and then you go back to E flat. So that's a D flat. Every time you see that E flat, think D flat. D flat. That's the note that changes. So I'll do a little demo here. I'll start off simple, and then I'll start to do more, I think, and then in the next videos we'll build on this and we'll start to do more. I'm starting to do some other things there. We're going to talk about that in the next video.